Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about how to use Quandl API to download large amount set of historical data into the worksheet. First, we are going to talk about Quandl. Compared to Yahoo Finance API, Quandl API is definitely have a wider range of historical data. Quandl have lots of database with different field of data. Here is just some of the example, and you will see how powerful Quandl database is. Here is the Yahoo database. It's a list of index data. We can see here we have some of familiar index like SP500 and SPTSX and many other countries or areas like Japan, Hong Kong. And there are quite a lot of different type of data in Yahoo database, which is more than 90,000. And we have Fred database, which contains huge variety type of US economic data. We have here unemployment rate, wholesale trading earning, and etc. with total more than 194,000 type. And we also have this World Bank database, which contains more type of data, covers economics, geographic, demographic and population, health and education, and many more. And we have BOE, Bank of England database, contains all the currency data. Those are only 4 databases are free to download. There are so many more of them. Now let's move on to the exciting part. But first, let's see the Quandl API syntax rule. The URL has 3 parts. The first part is a fixed web address. It allows the web browser navigate to the API server. The second part is parameter. There are 2 parameters is required, which is the database code and the dataset code. The rest is optional. Those optional parameters is used to help you better filter the data, like start date and end date. You can check the list if you want it. Here's a list of the parameters. If you don't add any optional parameter, on default, the server will return the full set of data. For me, I just prefer to organize data in Excel. So let's first test it on a web server. First, we copy and paste the fixed web address, then find the database and the dataset code. Let's just randomly pick one here. Copy and paste. Okay, the only thing left to do is the server part. Tell the server what kind of file format we want to be returned. Since I'm working in Excel, I just choose a CSV file. If you are using the data on a website, you might want JSON. Here is a link of the online documentation with more file format detail and also other important information like the API call limitations. Now we just type in .csv and enter. Then we can see a CSV file has been automatically downloaded. We can open it and all the data is here. Okay, then we're going to talk about how to download multiple datasets directly into the worksheet just in Excel. Let's first see how the program works. For example, currency. We see here we already have all the currency data in the worksheet. Name the currency. We can delete all the data and then we go back, delete the number here and run the program. Then the data will be downloaded. I put a number here. It's just because I don't want to re-download all the data I already have. The program will only update the newly added data code, starting from the number of the row. In this case is number 10. So, if I run the program, it will do nothing, because there are no data code on the row number 10. Or I can copy and paste the dataset code here and update the newly added type of data into the worksheet. And we can go back and see the data has already been added. Okay, let's see the sample of the code here. We are using the object when HTTP request here. If you are not familiar with Win HTTP request, please check my other video, Google Map API, where I'll have the full demonstration of the same object and function used here. So I am just going to jump right into the second part, organize data and generate a chart. Let's first see how it works. In the setting, I can choose any data I wanted to put into one chart. Let's choose Canadian dollar and crude oil as an example. Here we can barely see any movement of Canadian dollar because the number is too small. We can go back and set one of them to be viewed as secondary axis on the chart. This looks much better. The chart shows negative correlation between them. It's because it's a USD versus CAD. We can invert the currency here. Now we see the positive correlation is kind of strong. And we see here and here, what interesting is the Canadian dollar seems to be moved ahead of oil. Coincidence or cause and effect relationship? Only comprehensive research can give the conclusion. And we can add more dataset series into this chart too, but there are only 2 axes available. Any dataset be added will have to share the axis with either currency or oil. For example, if we add a TXX index and the SP500, then we see oil will be fine, because oil enjoys one axis all by himself, but the poor Canadian dollar gonna disappear again. In this case, we can go back and set the data to be viewed as change of percentage. All the data will be set to 1 at the start time. Then we can see on the axis, they all have been changed to percentage movement. And we can change the time series to anything we wanted, as long as the data are available during that time. Then we can talk about how I collect those data from the different worksheets and generate them in a chart. As you can see, there are many nested loop and if condition. So I am just going to talk about the overall structure behind it. Okay, first loop, we are going to go through every category here, which is starting from the most left, currency, all the way to the end, which is bond. So if in the future, I want a more category, I can just add them and change the category number here, without go back and change the code. Then there is a if condition to check whether there are at least one dataset has been selected to be viewed in the chart. If nothing selected, then move on to the next category. If one or more are selected, then the program will move to 2 inner loop, which will find the row of the start date and the end date, and use those rows to copy the data to another worksheet and name it data. Then we are going to loop through all the rest selected data set. But in this loop, we can just copy and paste the data because the date of the data will not align with each other. For example, some stocks stop trading for 6 months due to the corporated acquisition, and the GTP data recorded annually or quarterly, but not daily. So there we need another in the loop to go through each date and use that date to find the price or the economic data on the exact date and send to the data worksheet used as source data for the chart. Because we have 2 different ways of viewing the chart, the regular and the percentage of change, we copy all the data in the data worksheet to another worksheet and name it data percentage. Then all the data in each column will be divided by the data on the first row from that column, so we can get the percentage changes. Then we can generate a chart using data stored in the worksheet called data and the data percentage. If you are interested in how to create a chart using VBA, please check my other video, VBA Dynamic Chart Techniques, in my channel. It will demonstrate some more advanced chart techniques. Okay, that's it. I hope you will enjoy Quandl time in the near future. Thank you for watching. I will see you in next video.